less scrolling and more cheering. So eliminate distractions and build connections by setting your phone to US mode. Because game day is for cheering on the Brew Crew with your crew. US Cellular, built for us.
Covering the Crew all season long on 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee. It's Brewers Extra Innings. Now live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios in downtown Milwaukee at the Avenue. Here is your host, Dominic Cotroneo.
Back to 500. Back on track. Brewers have won back-to-back games. 7-2, the final over the White Sox. From the South Side, I'm Dom Cotroneo. Alrighty then. That's just a classic, stress-free Brewers win. Until the sixth inning, that is. Freddie Peralta earns the win. Brewers got to Bryce Wilson eventually. Old friend. Big sixth inning in this one. And the Brewers bullpen turned in another great outing despite the game already being in hand. Uribe, Yoho, Piops followed up Peralta's great work today. Only one hit beyond the first inning today for the White Sox, and the Brewers took advantage of a ton of free passes from their pitching staff. Craig Gashawn is going to join the show tonight. If you're looking for Bucks talk, head on over to WTMJ, 620 WTMJ, also on YouTube. You can find the season-ending post-game show with our friend Justin Garcia over there, 620 WTMJ. Here we are on ESPN Milwaukee, 1-800-990-3776. Again, 800-990-3776. Bucks, go over to 620 WTMJ. Brewers, stay right here on ESPN Milwaukee. With that said, if you need to catch up, here's how today's game went with the highlight recap.
Ready for this?
Out of here!
This?
One of the catches of the year!
And this?
It is gone!
Time for tonight's highlights.
An opener, Tyler Gilbert getting the start for the White Sox against Brewers opening day starter Freddie Peralta. So a little switcheroo in the lineup today for the Crew, given there was a lefty on the mound to start the game. They move Isaac Collins up to the 2 spot, Terang down to the 8 spot to try to minimize the at-bats against the tough lefty. And it paid off for Isaac Collins, been sitting on a 0 in the home run column for a long time.
Here's the 2-2 pitch. Collins, a fly ball deep left field. This one's back at the track. It is gone. Isaac Collins, his first career home run, and it gives the Brewers the lead. It's 1-0 Crew.
Congratulations to Isaac. Again, you heard Lane Grindle call it first big league homer for him. However, the 1-0 lead would be short-lived for the Crew in the bottom of the first. Freddie Peralta allowed a solo homer to Andrew Benintendi, and then 3 pitches later, they were trailing.
And a high drive left center field. This one's back. Churio at the wall, looking up. It is gone. So the White Sox go back-to-back. Robert with his 4th home run of the year. Freddie, who had given up just 3 home runs all season long, has given up back-to-back shots to the White Sox here in the bottom of the first inning, and it's 2-1 Chicago.
The only good news is the fact that they were solo shots, and as we mentioned a moment ago, they would only have one more hit the rest of the game. The Brewers, they were quiet in the rest of the first third of this game. They left the man stranded in the second, went 1-2-3 in the third against Wilson, had a double play in the fourth, but started to show signs of life in the 6th inning. Meanwhile, Peralta, he was rolling along having no problems. In the top of the 6th inning, leadoff man gets aboard Joey Ortiz with an infield hit up the third base line. Churio would fly out, Ortiz still on first, but then a key stolen base on a ball that was dropped at second base by Jacob Amaya. Would have been a caught stealing. Instead, it's a stolen base. It would have been bases empty and 2 outs. Instead, it's a man on second and 1 out. Isaac Collins then draws a walk, and William Contreras fell behind 0-2, worked the count full, and on the 7th pitch of the at-bat, the runner's in motion, he cashes in.
Out of the stretch, there go the runners. The pitch is lined through the right side and into right field for a base hit. Ortiz around third, he will score. Collins going first to third. What an at-bat from William Contreras. He ties this game at 2 with an RBI single into right.
The White Sox would go to lefty Brandon Eisert. He would strike out the left-on-left matchup with Yelich. That left Will Venable with the decision. Okay, after a stolen base from Contreras, there are runners on second and third, 2 outs in a 2-2 game, and a righty, Rhys Hoskins, due up. They initially started to pitch to him, fell behind 2-0. They then flashed the four fingers and put Rhys Hoskins on. So bases loaded, 2 outs, left on left for Sal Frelick, and he gets an RBI the hard way. He gets hit by a pitch in his bicep. So that scores a run to give the Brewers a 3-2 lead. But Caleb Durbin made sure he was leaving here with something back in his hometown.
And the 1-1. Durbin, a ground ball through the left side into left field for a base hit. Contreras will score. Hoskins being sent home. The throw is cut off, and the Brewers have played it 2 on an RBI single from Caleb Durbin, and the Brewers have pushed 4 runs across in the inning. They lead it 5-2.
We fast forward, they still weren't done. They would leave the bases loaded in the 7th inning, reload them in the 8th inning, and with a ball that didn't even get out of the infield once in the 8th inning, the Brewers played a couple more first from Jackson Churio.
Schuster brings home the pitch, and it's a chopper toward third. Vargas will backhand it, throw across his body to first. Not in time. Jackson beat it out. They'll say Vaughn came off the bag. Frelick scores from third. Brewers lead it 6-2, and the bases remain loaded.
They would add another with a productive RBI ground out from Isaac Collins. The bullpen would slam the door, and it's a 7-2 victory for the Crew, scoring 6 unanswered runs, and it's only their second come-from-behind win this season. Again, a 7-2 final score. Craig Gishan is going to join us in just a moment here on ESPN Milwaukee. And again, a reminder, if you're looking for Bucks talk, wanting to decompress after the end of that overtime loss, 620 WTMJ is where you can find that. You can also find it on YouTube. You can find it on X. Wherever you can find a live stream, you can find it there. So Bucks are over on WTMJ. Brewers are here until the top of the hour talking about a 7-2 win over the White Sox. I'm Dom Catronio. Again, the number is 1-800-990-3776. Again, 800-990-3776. Right here on ESPN Milwaukee.
This is Brewers Extra Innings.
Save big money on your outdoor project at Menards. Get that lawn growing green and strong. Midwest Master is a premium all-purpose grass seed mix that starts growing fast and blends well into existing lawns. A 15-pound bag covers up to 3,750 square feet. Hurry into the Menards Garden Center to save big on Midwest Master grass seed. And check out our weekly flyer on menards.com for all the great deals happening now.
Save big money at Menards.
At Potawatomi, where ways to win are endless, another chance to capture epic cash and prizes comes Friday, June 27th. It's the season finale blockbuster drawings. Watch your entries from Enchanted Spins, Unreal Treasures, and Boundless Bounty come together for drawings where $300,000 in cash and prizes is there for the taking. Be there to win your share. June 27th only at Potawatomi Casino Hotel, Milwaukee. More info online. Must be 21 years old to play.
Hey Wisconsin, it's construction season and the Wisconsin DOT wants to help you safely navigate work zones in your area. Check 511wi.gov or download the free 511 app to see current road work, closures, detours, and camera views on your route. Wherever your travels take you, know before you go with 511wi.gov. That's 511wi.gov. And remember, know before you go. Always park the phone while driving. Sponsored by the Wisconsin DOT.
Hey, it's Brad Nortman, and I've got to tell you about my go-to car wash, Tsunami Express. Get your ride looking its best and ride the wave at Tsunami Express Car Wash, Milwaukee's fan favorite for that perfect shine. Sign up for a monthly membership and enjoy unlimited washes for less than $1 a day. Skip the wait with the fast lane and take advantage of great perks. With locations in Midtown Milwaukee, Waukesha, Greenfield, Oak Creek, and Mount Pleasant, Tsunami Express has you covered. Tsunami Express Car Wash. Wash, chill, repeat. Visit TsunamiExpress.com to learn more.
Marquette Hall of Famer Tony Smith here. You're listening to the home of Marquette basketball. 94.5 ESPN is WKTI and WKTI HD Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
Welcome back to Brewers Extra Innings.
Brewers win 7-2. I'm Dom Catronio. All right. Back on track. This is the Get Right series to try to salvage a 10-game road trip in which the Brewers are trying to claw their way back to going 5-5 over this road trip. To do so, they would need a sweep in this series. Lost the series in San Francisco, lost the series in St. Louis, but a sweep here will certainly help the record getting ready for the Chicago week. You get the White Sox right now. the Cubs over the weekend. It should be a fun time for the Brewers to really find out what they're made of here pretty soon, as tomorrow they'll see their old friend as well, Shane Smith, who they left off their 40-man roster for this past offseason, and he was exposed to the Rule 5 draft, and the rest is history as far as him going to the White Sox with the first pick in the Rule 5 draft. But talking about tonight, the offense. This wasn't the prettiest night for anybody, really, when it comes to White Sox pitching, with all the walks that they had today. From Freddie, he wasn't quite sharp. We'll talk about that in a moment with Craig. And the offense, yes, they get the solo home run from Isaac Collins, but it was a lot of bat to ball, a lot of lull you to sleep, a lot of walks. But the Brewers had a ton of base runners at the end of this game. I mean, they had, 20 base runners total in the game. They had left 2 men on base in the 6th, left the bases loaded in back-to-back innings in the 7th and 8th, and even left 2 more on base in the 9th inning, too. So they had their chances. They were trying to make sure that they had the opportunity to, have a chance to drive in runs. Ultimately, Caleb Durbin kind of had one of the bigger RBI singles along with William Contreras as Craig Kashan joins us now. And Craig, the 6th thing is obviously circled for how well the Brewers played some offense in the 6th, but I also circle the 8th because not a single ball getting out of the infield, a walk, an error, some good base running, some hustle in there too to really make sure this game was out of reach to score the final 2 runs of the contest. Which inning sticks out to you more, the 6th or the 8th inning for the Brewers offense tonight?
Ooh, that's an interesting question, my friend. I don't know. I mean, to me, when I just look at this, I really feel, Dom, like kind of like you're describing a little bit, like this team is kind of doing the old nickel and dime approach, and they're perfectly happy with it because get that ball in play and then see what happens. So I think, the more that they continue to do that, that's gonna get them through to some good things here before it's over. I really think that's the bottom line. We've talked about, the lack of power here right now and even getting the balls in the gaps and stuff like that. And, what they're doing right now may not be the prettiest thing to watch all the time on, for these ball games, but it's going to get them somewhere here to the promised land. I do believe in a really good way in a short time. So, I'd take any of the innings that we saw here at this point because what they went through earlier on this road trip was that was tough to watch. That's for sure.
Well, I want to talk about Williams at bat in particular in the 6th inning. Falling behind 0-2 with 2 men aboard and 1 out in the frame, you can tell, at the time it was 1st and 2nd, right? So his whole game plan there was more about don't bounce into a double play than it was about being afraid of striking out. Now, granted, he took some really tight pitches there to work it to a full count, fouls off another tight one, and then does what we've seen him do so many times, not be afraid to go to the opposite field, do what the job needs. And it helped that the runners were in motion on that pitch, too. But for William to take the humble approach, to be the tame Bill, not the wild Bill, and push it through the right side, I think that was the icebreaker the Brewers needed just for some situational offense to get things going in the right direction for them.
It was a great at-bat, and I looked at that hit just the reaction that, myself and you and Vinny, we were all in the room together, and, we all went, yeah. It was just a great piece of situational hitting, and the count was full, as you mentioned, and the Brewers needed to have something. They needed a punch, let's just put it that way, and it didn't come in the form of anything but just a great at-bat from an all-star and a guy who is going to continue to come through with big hits for this team, obviously, and drive in runs. So that's the part that I think is most beneficial for this club right now, and to have him, do it. It was just one of the bigger pop single RBIs that we've seen in a while, and it was just a great at bat by William.
when you look at two names I want to point out offensively for the Crew that have just been making me smile as of late, that is Caleb Durbin and Isaac Collins. Let me start with Durbin. Durbin reached base 3 times today, a single, a hit by pitch, and a walk. He also drove in 2 runs. He's popped out and lined out to center, too. The best thing, though, for Durbin, he didn't swing and miss once today. And putting the ball in play, playing solid enough third base, this is why they called him up. They wanted to give him an extended run, wanted to see him continue to produce with what he was doing in AAA and learning at the big league level. And so far, again, he's putting a smile on my face.
Yeah, and you're right. He is learning at this level. I mean, he's ready to play here. That's for sure. But the opportunity that he's been getting since he got called up, I mean, he's taken advantage of it. You just absolutely love guys like that. Other guys try, and sometimes there's opportunities, and it's not like guys fail to do it. They just can't come through, and they can't get the job done. And this guy is getting the job done at the plate, and he's playing a nice third base for the most part as well. So he's taking his lumps. I mean, he got hit by a pitch here today, but man, that 2 RBI single in the 6th inning was also huge for him. And then to be able to draw a walk in the 9th inning as well. So we're seeing some really, really nice, solid things from this guy. And the more I see him, Dom, the more I say how much he fits into this Brewer team and how perfect he is to put on a Brewer uniform here right now. I mean, he's the epitome of all of these young guys that we've been talking about for the last year or two, and all the production that they're able to put together. And he just fits in because it's all about collectively doing it together, and we're seeing that quite a bit out of him.
We're also seeing a little bit more of Isaac Collins on this road trip, too. Today was the 5th game he's played on this road trip out of 8 games total. Now, he hasn't started every one of these games, but now he's got a hit in 4 consecutive, including his first big league homer today. Another thing to note about him, his ball strike is really good. He's drawn 2 walks and only struck out 3 times over this stretch. I see a guy that's going to continue to get some run here, especially with Garrett Mitchell being out. Daz Cameron is somebody the Brewers still like, but they probably won't. You only will use him against lefties, perhaps. But for Isaac Collins, he caught us all kind of by surprise to make this big league roster coming out of spring training. He played sporadically in early April, and now he's sort of taken this opportunity, and let's continue to monitor what he can do for the Brewers.
Yeah, he's got a small sample size of opportunities, but I think he's done a really nice job, and somebody else has taken advantage of the time that he gets called. And I think, obviously, with Mitchell's injury, his time is going to get called quite a bit out in left field right now. I don't get the indication or the hint from the Brewers that Yelich is going to do a whole lot more than DHing here at this point, occasionally playing left field. So they're going to need Collins. And it's also kind of interesting that they've settled in a little bit here to maybe a Collins in left, Churio in center, and Frelick in right, for the time being anyway. But I do like Collins. I like the fact that, the switch hitter, he's got obviously, a lot of ability to do stuff, and we're seeing it now. He's just another tough guy to get out at the plate here right now, and he can certainly play his position, that's for sure.
I agree. Left field is not a position that is really known to him. He was an infielder in college, but has been playing the outfield in the minor leagues. More with Craig Kishon in just a moment, but first, want to thank our friends at Fifth Third Bank. Looking for a banking partner that truly understands your business needs? Look no further than Fifth Third Bank. With a local team right here in Milwaukee, they know how to hit it out of the park every time. For 15 years, they've been serving our community with industry-specific expertise and local decision-making that helps your business thrive. Experience the unique commercial banking value only Fifth Third can deliver. Fifth Third Bank, National Association, member FDIC. Take a break. Back with more after this on ESPN Milwaukee.
This is Brewers Extra Innings.
Postseason dunks, threes, buzzer beaters. There's so much NBA happening. I gotta keep up.
Whoa, take it easy there. There's a better way to NBA. All playoffs long.
Wait, really?
With the NBA app, you get real-time stats and scores for every playoff matchup. Witness playoff drama as it unfolds.
Seriously?
Catch every bucket all in one place, all for free.
Where have you been all my life?
There's a better way to NBA. Download the app today. Available on the Google Play, Apple app, and Android stores.
I've had a number of surgeries, and frankly, I don't have time to rehab a surgery and an operation at this point in my life. I didn't want to take time off my kids' activities.
That's why former college and pro football player Bobby Carpenter turned to QC Kinetics. We couldn't be happier saving our patients like him from operating rooms and long recoveries.
I've been able to resume like normal activity for me, which is a lot of running. It's a lot of workouts. I've been very, very blessed with how it's been able to hold up.
For so long, patients have accepted surgery as the only solution. But with new technologies, the medical professionals at QC Kinetics use regenerative treatments, your body's own biologics, to help heal and restore knees, hips, shoulders, and backs.
I actually ran into a friend of mine over at our golf course, and he had his knee done. It felt so well. He'd got his shoulder done. He goes, I can't thank you enough. He had heard the commercial on the air, and so it's feeling great.
Find out how you can avoid surgery and finally get relief. Call QC Kinetics now for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. 414-285-3474.
Hey, this is Mike from Infinity Exteriors. Buying a roof, siding, or windows can feel overwhelming. Hidden costs, confusing contracts. We don't play that game. We educate you so that you can decide. And when you know the facts, Infinity Exteriors is the clear choice. Since 1997, we've installed peace of mind with no surprise upcharges, flexible budgets, and immediate financing. Infinity Exteriors, saving our communities from unscrupulous contractors. Visit infinityexteriors.com.
Welcome back to Brewers Extra Innings.
Welcome back. I'm Dom Cotroneo. Craig Kashan is here with us, too. We haven't even talked about the winning pitcher yet in a 7-2 win for the Milwaukee Brewers over the White Sox. That is Freddie Peralta. Freddie, his final line, 6 innings, 3 hits, 2 runs, both earned, 3 walks, 5 strikeouts, and 2 home runs. They came back-to-back in the first inning. Craig, we saw it firsthand that something clicked for Freddie, realizing the fastball wasn't there tonight. His velo was down across the board today. I don't know if that has something to do with the windy, cool temperatures there on the south side, what the deal was. Pitching on an extra day of rest maybe was more of a detriment than a benefit for him. But it still, clearly, in my opinion, without his best stuff, without his best velocity, without his best command of the fastball, he still turns in a quality start against, let me be honest, an inferior team. You know, when you don't have your best stuff and you're an ace, you need to be able to go 6 innings for your team, and that's what Freddie did tonight.
Yeah, he did that very well, actually. And I think the 2 solo home runs he gave up back-to-back to Benintendi and Luis Robert Jr., I don't know if that caught him off guard a little bit or surprised him. I mean, we saw right out of the gates that the White Sox were going to be aggressive. And I think after that, though, he made his adjustment. And, you know, like you're saying, if his fastball and slider weren't working, you know, for him the best, he went to his secondary stuff. And, you know, several of his strikeouts that he got were on the curve and the changeup as well. So, you know, I thought, you know, Freddie was and has been really for this first month of April, just really in control. And I think he's pitching within himself here right now. And to me, I just see a little more mature veteran pitcher out there. You know, he's out here first month of the season. His ERA is at 2.5. I think stuff like that, you know, you pay attention to because he just wants to be a consistent starter. And right now, you know, they've got a pretty good 1-2 punch with Quintana, who pitched in the last game, and Freddie. I think they've gone, you know, back-to-back in that rotation now 2 or 3 times. So I'm liking what I'm seeing. I think, you know, Freddie's got the best smile in the majors, and the more he smiles like we saw tonight, the better off the Brew Crew is going to be in the end.
And furthermore, the Brewers now lining up where Quintana and Peralta's next starts will be against the Cubs on Saturday and Sunday. It's exactly what they want. They'll have Priester likely going on Friday, but the point is they have a chance to win a series if Priester turns in a good performance on Friday with either Quintana or Peralta, or they'll go in for more than that, whatever it may be. They're very excited about that. But on the pitch breakdown, you talk about him growing up and trying to mix things in a little bit more. This was a lower fastball usage game for him, maybe because of the lack of giddy up on the fastball today. We'll monitor that for his next start. 53% heaters, But then when you combine the rest of it, so that's 47% the rest of it, that's not a fastball Freddie type day. That's a day where he's mixing things, not afraid to throw the changeups to righties. I mean, in fact, he threw 8 changeups to righties, 12 of them to lefties, threw the curveball to both sides as well. In total, he only had 9 swings and misses today. Got a lot of swings, a lot of foul balls. Even without being perfect, Freddie learns as long as he's in the zone, generally good things are going to happen for him. I mean, the moment that freaked me out, Craig, was to lead off the 5th inning. He's facing 8, 9, and 1 in the order, and at this point, you're still trailing 2-1. And he goes from 0-2 to 3-2 on Miguel Vargas, the 8-hitter, ends up walking him. I thought, okay, we've seen this movie before. This is where the wheels come off. Then a sacrifice bunt by Jacob Amaya, another 2-out walk to Andrew Benintendi. It's like, all right, here's Robert again. Can he make the adjustment? And he gets in the fly out to center field. That's a different Freddie. Maybe a season ago, that becomes another walk, that becomes a bases loaded, that becomes a 30-pitch inning or something like that. But for him to get out of that the third time through on a night without his best stuff is an indicator that, okay, he is growing and finding out what he's capable of in the strike zone.
Yeah, for sure. And, you know, I think, too, the thing with Freddie, you go back to just the maturity of it. And I don't know at what point of, you know, a guy's career that has all the potential that Freddie does, and he's had a lot of success and he's had some failure along the way, too. I don't know how you feel about this sometimes when you just have been around long enough with some of these guys and you can see how they have developed the way a major leaguer develops, especially with a pitcher on the mound, just to be able to make adjustments at the right time. And I know he's got help from William Contreras behind the plate, but I was just impressed, you know, what he did after that, after giving up those 2 home runs, and everything kind of laid out nicely the rest of the way. But he did it because he was in control. Those are great signs, you know, from Freddie Peralta. That 5th inning you're talking about, great signs with Freddie Peralta. And yes, the lineup wasn't overly challenging. We know the struggles of the White Sox, but it doesn't matter what the numbers are. You still got to get the outs, and he was able to do that.
And furthermore, the bullpen got the outs, too. We can't leave them out of this discussion. I mean, when you look at Uribe, he got 5 swings and misses in his 1 inning today. I remember this was the series 2 years ago when the Brewers were last at Wright Field, when Uribe was just coming on and starting to assert himself as like, okay, I can be a dude in this league. I can become somebody that's important in leverage bullpen for this team. And that's when he really started to take off. And here we are seeing him take another leap. Both of his strikeouts on the slider. He got 0-2 on 3 of the 4 batters he faced. Didn't mess around. And that's the Abner Uribe we're excited to see, where it's like, I've got 2 premium pitches. One of them goes 100. One of them breaks like a bat out of hell. Good luck hitting either one of them.
Yeah, I mean, look, the aggressiveness to me and going after it and getting the job done, that's what he needs to do every time he goes out there. I know that's the goal, but man, sometimes when he gets out there, he's still learning how to bring that attitude and bring that performance, and most importantly, bring that production every time he goes out there. So very aggressive. I liked it. It was, besides the base hit he gave up with 1 out, it was a pretty secure, neat, and tidy inning for him. And we need more of that from Uribe. There's no question.
How much more do you need to see from Yoel Payamps to say? I'm not saying we're going to throw him into the 8th inning in a 1-run game, but Payamps has strung together 3 straight really good outings now for him, and looks like himself. He's pitching with more authority. Maybe he gets out of the garbage time role here pretty soon because, okay, this was the whole point of keeping him on, keeping the pitching depth, and he's going to be a piece the Brewers need down the road.
Well, I got to believe, Dom, with his success that he's had with this team, they know who he is. They know that, you've talked about it on the show when he was going through his slump, a week or 2 ago, that he went through this last year as well. The Brewers obviously know this. They know his history. They know what it's going to take for him to be successful. I'm perfectly fine with him getting out of the mop-up type role that he's been in to, become a little more confident and get his pitches back. I think he's got them. So now it's going to be, one of those situations where they're going to have to go to him in a higher leverage situation, and he's probably going to answer the bell on that one and come through. So that's how guys get back. I mean, they treat these pitchers that have been around like Payamps very well, and they're smart about how they go about their business, and they don't panic. I think we know Pat Murphy talked about not panicking in this situation with Payamps and making sure they put him in the right spots, and I think they've done that. And he's been through this before, and you can tell, because quite honestly, it didn't take him all that long to get back here and get to the spot that he's in right through tonight's performance.
And this could be a good, maybe he gets one more outing perhaps tomorrow or Thursday against these White Sox. Make sure you know what you got. You're in the middle of another long stretch here where you're not going to have an off day until next Thursday, so you're going to need him again moving forward. And all great points from our friend Krishan. So your Bucs season's over now, my friend. You get to have a couple days off from us. You can go listen to Justin Garcia if you really want to on the way home. I think they're still going over there on WTMJ commiserating about this one tonight. But at least the Brewers got the job done. Thank you, as always, Craig. I know you've had a busy weekend with us. We'll talk to you again next week.
All right, sounds good, Dom. Thank you.
All right, Craig Kashan here on ESPN Milwaukee. 1-800-990-3776. Again, 1-800-990-3776. Right here on tonight's home of the Brewers, ESPN Milwaukee.
This is Brewers Extra Innings.
Kevin Moret here for Mentality. Life's a relentless competition, and you might be losing without even knowing it. With testosterone levels plummeting 25% in just 2 decades, you're likely operating at a fraction of your potential. Your kids sense it when you're too exhausted for playtime. Your wife notices when that spark fades. Here's the harsh truth. Without addressing low T, nothing works. Diets fail, workouts fall flat, but there's hope. Mentality's FDA-approved treatment restores testosterone by an average of 30%. Don't let low T rob you of life's precious moments. Start at mentalityhealth.com/radio.
Hey, Gina, did you hear about the draft?
Wayne, there's no draft at Pella.
There's definitely a draft. Right, Wildy?
Yeah,
everybody's talking about it.
Pella windows are constructed of the highest quality. No drafts.
Yeah, sure. Okay. No drafts. Got it. There's more than one draft?
No, but Pella should be everyone's number one pick because right now at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, get no interest financing options or free glass upgrades when you order by April 30th. Our talented designers and installers can match your unique home through dramatic sizes, custom colors, finishes, profiles, product types, and more, along with durable and distinguished details. All Pella products stand the test of time, which is why we confidently offer the best wood warranty in the industry.
So where is the draft?
Coon. Get no interest financing options or free glass upgrades at PellaWI.com.
Certain restrictions apply. Ends 4/30/2025.
Nestled along the shores of Lake Michigan, the Knickerbocker Hotel offers a timeless escape in the heart of Milwaukee. Immerse yourself in the rich history of this iconic landmark where charm meets modern luxury. Picture yourself enjoying breathtaking lake views, luxurious rooms, and dining at one of the finest restaurants in the city. Whether you're visiting for a weekend getaway or a special occasion, the Knickerbocker promises an unforgettable experience. Your perfect stay awaits at the Knickerbocker Hotel. For more information and to book your next stay, visit knickerbockeronthelake.com.
Right now, more than 100,000 children waiting in foster care need our help. The Dave Thomas Foundation for Adoption is focused on finding them safe, permanent homes. Learn more at davethomasfoundation.org.
Welcome back to Brewers Extra Innings.
Text came in here from Josh in Greenfield. Consecutive wins, good start to the week. All the free passes drawn were welcome tonight. It's been nice to see Yoho get opportunities to acclimate to the big leagues. What role do you think he'll have as the pitching gets healthier? I don't think he's going back down as long as he continues to perform. Scoreless for him today with a strikeout, some nasty changeups. He also officially made it on the Pitching Ninjas socials today, so that's a big win for him. I think Yoho's going to stick around, and he can be that closer for the starter type role. As you look at this bullpen right now, you've got your for sure leverage guys like McGill, like Koenig, like Uribe, like Mears. Yoho's on the fringe of that right now too. I'd also say that Payamps is working his way back. He's on his way back into that rotation. But if Yoho can continue to get left-handed hitters out, that is going to be something to monitor moving forward because the Brewers do not have a leverage lefty that isn't Jared Koenig. With Brian Hudson's struggles with his command at the start of the season, that's what sent him down. Now, if he starts performing well and maybe Payamps takes a step back, I could see that switcheroo happening for the Crew moving forward for their bullpen. They do need another leverage lefty in there. It can't just be Jared Koenig because Alexander is more meant for a bulk role out of this pen because he lacks that strikeout pitch if you're going to be that left-on-left guy. Like, think about how many lefties we saw today from the White Sox that all got the job done against lefties, right? Yelly had a tough day with 2 strikeouts. Frelick had 2 strikeouts before he finally saw another lefty and then he gets hit by a pitch in the arm. Terang had a couple of strikeouts today, too. In fact, they're the only ones. I'm double-checking here. Reese had 1 strikeout today, too, and Joey had 1 strikeout today, too. But otherwise, it was all the lefties facing left-on-left at-bats is why they struggled today. So that's something to monitor for the Brewers' bullpen moving forward. As you look at tomorrow with Shane Smith getting the ball, I know a lot of folks want to know the story of how the heck did the Brewers let this guy walk? How did they let him leave after the start that he has been on so far for the White Sox? Well, a quick reminder of how the Rule 5 draft works and why he was available in the first place. He was a non-drafted free agent by the Brewers out of Wake Forest due to injury, Tommy John surgery, in July of 2021. Now, as a college signee, as a non-drafted free agent, after that 4th year of pro ball, right, regardless if you're injured or not, so 21, 22, 23, and 24, as a college player, the team has that offseason between year 4 and year 5 to say, we see you in our future. We are going to put you on our 40-man roster this offseason to protect you from the Rule 5 draft. The Rule 5 draft is meant to be able to give prospects who are maybe stashed or buried or not being given an opportunity on the 40-man roster to be plucked by another team and say, we'll take you on our 40-man roster. In fact, we're believing so much in you, we will put you on our active roster for at least a full season. At least 90 active days is what they require to be considered their own property, and that is done. There's a money exchange involved with that too, but if the player doesn't spend the whole year, then they go back to their original team. The Brewers are going through it right now with Connor Thomas, who's currently on the injured list with arthritis. We'll see if we get an update on that anytime soon. But how does all this apply to Shane Smith? The Brewers decided not to protect Shane Smith on the 40-man roster. They did not see that his injury history was healed up enough for him. A season ago, across 94 minor league innings, he pitched very, very well. 32 games, 16 of them were starts, so he was like a tandem man as they worked him, eased him back in from injury. 113 strikeouts in those 94 innings. He only had 5 games in AAA, 6 innings in AAA, had 7 strikeouts there, 3 walks too, a very small sample size, only coming out of the bullpen for them. But the Brewers, at the time, when the deadline came at the end of November, because the Rule 5 draft happens during the winter meetings, they felt on their depth chart, they had Tyler J higher on their depth chart, and they thought that they would keep Tyler J on the active roster heading into spring training and heading into what they would need moving forward. Well, fast forward, that was not the case. The Brewers ended up DFAing Tyler J and subjecting him to waivers. He survived waivers briefly and then went to the Mariners, and then the Mariners DFA'd him, and he came right back on a minor league contract in the 1st of January. So it was a little odd to see it go the way it did, that the Brewers could have had a spot if they were going to ultimately DFA Tyler J like they did, but then, bring back Shane Smith if they so wished, because they had to DFA Tyler J when they acquired Grant Anderson, and I also didn't even mention Grant Anderson as a potential leverage arm for the Brewers in their bullpen. So Shane Smith, off to a good start from him. Congratulations to him. Brewers certainly know his repertoire. He's got a brand new changeup that's been really, really good for him so far this season. On the year, he has got a 1-1 record, 27 innings, a 2.30 ERA. Not as many strikeouts, though, as he had in the minor leagues. See what the Brewers can do against Shane Smith tomorrow. The Brewers are going to counter with Tobias Myers in his second start. You got to hope that this one's going to go a little bit better with a little more command than it did the first time around against the Giants. That was in the finale last Thursday in San Francisco. He only went 4 innings, in part because he had 4 walks, but even yet, 2 strikeouts wasn't pretty either, but he was able to limit damage to only allowing 2 runs despite all of that traffic in 4 innings. There was certainly some rust there for Tobias, and then the Brewers will have to figure out what to do with Tobias's pitch count moving forward. Also tomorrow, keep an eye that Brandon Woodruff up in Appleton is going to throw another rehab outing. It will be his 4th rehab start on his way back for the Crew. So that's some good news for him too. Take a breather, come back with more. We'll hear Pat Murphy a little bit later on in the program. 1-800-990-3776. 1-800-990-3776. Also want to thank our friends at Cider Heating, Plumbing, and Electrical. Spring's here. That means warmer weather on the way. Is your AC ready to keep you cool? Right now, through Cider Heating, Plumbing, and Electrical, you can get $25 off for an AC tune-up, but hurry. This deal's only good for one more day, end of April. Visit cider.com, SEIDER.com, to schedule your appointment today. Back with more after this on ESPN Milwaukee.
This is Brewers Extra Innings.
Save big money at Menards. Get your grass growing thick and green with Scott's Thicker Lawn Grass Seed Mix. Its 3-in-1 solution of grass seed, fertilizer, and soil improver is formulated to help your thinning lawn grow green and covers up to 1,200 square feet. Hurry into the Menards Garden Center to save big on Scott's Thicker Lawn Grass Seed. Plus, check out our weekly flyer on Menards.com for all the great deals happening now.
Save big money at Menards.
Whether you're about to graduate high school or have been in the workforce for years, it's time to take control of your future. Welcome to Lakeland University, where you call the shots. We use our flexible learning formats to customize your degree path. In person, online, and virtual classes are all available. Lakeland University is designed around you, your goals, your schedule, your future. You can even earn up to 25% of your degree via paid work experiences. Ready to take control of your future? Let us customize an education to fit your needs. Visit lakeland.edu/ESPN to learn more.
Woo! Hey, this is Ben Brust from Kyle Brust and Nortman on ESPN Wisconsin. People can't stop screaming about the Screamin' Sicilian frozen pizza, and no wonder. There's plenty to scream about, like the buttery stone-fired crust, secret recipe tomato sauce, mounds of whole milk mozzarella, and tons of premium toppings. Find Screamin' Sicilian in your local grocer's freezer and find out for yourself why Sporked called Screamin' Sicilian's Holy Pepperoni frozen pizza the best of the best. Screamin' Sicilian, taste what all the screamin' is about.
Hey, this is Brad Nortman, here to tell you about my friends at Bank 5-9. Everywhere I go throughout the area, I see Bank 5-9, and it's no wonder why. Not only do they have 14 branch locations, but their employees spend nearly 9,000 hours each year volunteering in the communities that they serve. That's on top of the financial support that they provide to several hundred nonprofits right here in southeastern Wisconsin. If you're looking for a true local community bank, check them out today at bank59.com. Member FDIC.
Welcome back to Brewers Extra Innings.
Same time, same place tomorrow. A 6:40 first pitch from Rate Field. Dumb name. I'm Dom Catronio. White Sox, Shane Smith. Brewers, Tobias Myers. Then Thursday, we might be dodging raindrops on the 1st of May, but we are scheduled for a 1:10 first pitch, our coverage beginning at 12:35, back over on WTMJ. Then the Cubs come to town, 7:10 on Friday, 6:10 on Saturday, 1:10 on Sunday. And a reminder, Friday's game is Apple TV Plus. So if you're one of the folks that likes to sync up your television with us here on the radio, that game is on Apple TV. And furthermore, Apple actually has an option where you can listen to the home feed automatically synced if you have Apple TV Plus, kind of like MLB TV has that same feature too. So keep that in mind for Friday. Then it's back to normal on FanDuel Sportsnet on Saturday and Sunday. And, well, now we don't have to worry about any Bucks conflicts here for the coming few days. Quick another point out here on the out-of-town scoreboard. The Central's getting interesting, right? So the Cubs win again. They shut out the Pirates. 9-0 the final there. A rainout in Cincinnati between the Cardinals and the Reds. They'll play a split doubleheader tomorrow. The Reds are 16-13, and they've been on a tear as of late. Gavin Lux has found fire. Jose Trevino has been playing great for them, too. Keeping an eye on the Reds as they're now the only other team above 500 here in the division. The Brewers won't see them again for a little while. The Brewers don't see Cincinnati, I believe, until the end of June, if I'm not mistaken, or right at the beginning of July, because it's odd. the Reds don't come back to American Family Field until the very end of the regular season. And it's just so weird. The Brewers will go to Cincinnati for the first time. I'm pulling it up here at the first week of June. That's when it is. Right after they play at home against the Padres. No, right after the Phillies, I should say, on the road. So there'll be a quick little 2-series road trip where they go to Philly, to Cincy, home, and then home for the Padres and the Braves and the Cardinals. So that's what's the upcoming way-ahead schedule here for the division. Elsewhere on the out-of-town scoreboard today, the Rockies lose again. They are 4-25, y'all. They are in the same boat that we were talking about a season ago with, holy cow, the White Sox are not very good. And the sad thing is the Brewers are one of those 4 wins for the Rockies. Nonetheless, Braves win 8-2 today. Astros get revenge on the Tigers. They win today 6-4. That game was in Houston, rematch of last year's AL wildcard. Mets over the Diamondbacks 8-3. The Mets have the best record in baseball. Who'd have thunk it? They had some great defense in that one. Francisco Lindor playing like an MVP. Saw an epic catch from Tyrone Taylor in that contest too. Phillies and the Nats. The final score was 7-6. That doesn't begin to tell you the story of how that game got to 7-6. The ninth inning was absolutely nuts. Nathaniel Lowe hit a go-ahead home run down to the Nats' last strike, and then the Phillies won on a wild pitch. But Jose Alvarado got out of a bases-loaded jam in the eighth inning. It was a full, antacid-type game, man. You needed your Tums on hand for that one. Carlos Rodon carried a perfect game into the sixth inning over the Orioles. The Yankees won big 15-3, and they did the Nestor against the O's. First 3 batters, homers. It wasn't on 3 pitches, but the first 3 batters hit homers for the Yankees as that one as they beat up Kyle Gibson 15-3, the final there at Camden Yards. Take a breather. We'll hear from the manager, Pat Murphy, coming up next. Brewers get the victory today, 7-2 over the White Sox. Back more after this on ESPN Milwaukee.
This is Brewers Extra Innings.
If you're trying to get through your daily activities and you're noticing you can't because you're focusing more on your pain than being able to enjoy the moment, those are the patients that we're looking to treat because we can make a difference.
That's Dr. Ashley Caravelli, Milwaukee's medical director for QC Kinetics.
What we're doing at QC Kinetics is offering treatments that help with joint preservation. We use cutting-edge technology in our in-house lab to harness your body's natural healing powers and target the areas where you need them the most.
These are regenerative, non-surgical treatments, and QC Kinetics is the nation's leader, delivering lasting relief to tens of thousands of patients.
What we do know is that the sooner we start treatment, the sooner you'll see relief.
So don't wait another minute. See if you're a good candidate for these non-surgical treatments for joint pain. The consultation is completely free.
Weekend appointments available. Call now. 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. 414-285-3474.
Welcome to the NBA playoffs. The moment we've all been waiting for is here.
The fans now on the edge of their seats.
It's time to stay locked in to every single moment.
What a finish!
Because you never know when history will be made. When it's win or go home, every moment matters.
You gotta be kidding me!
So don't miss a thing. NBA playoffs presented by Google continues on ABC, ESPN, TNT, and NBA TV.
No shortcuts, no compromises, just the job done right. At Exterior Pros, we don't just meet expectations, we crush them. Every nail, every window, every shingle is a step toward your home's next chapter. From the moment we start until that final reveal, we're committed to making your home better than ever. Quality products and craftsmanship you can count on. Go to the pros for your next project. Get started today and save $2,000. Visit extpros.com or call 262-800-4274. That's 262-800-4274.
Slide into your neighborhood Sundry Food Store to score the freshest produce, tastiest treats, and everything in between. Now through Wednesday, save on 2-liter bottle selected varieties Super Chill Soda, 2 for $3. 4-count double roll selected varieties Bounty Towels, $7.99. 6-pack 0.5-liter bottle selected varieties Splash Blast Water, 2 for $6. 40 to 48 ounce selected varieties Starbucks Iced Coffee, $5.49.
Let's get some strawberries.
Attention shoppers.
Safe. Okay. Ooh,
Pineapple fulfills every need.
While you're shopping, a drive way back, it's a gunner.
There's something goofy going on with the PA.
Need a price check and I'll take me out to the ball game.
See, what is going on?
You're hearing things. We're at Century Foods, and you can't take your mind off winning that ultimate baseball fan sweepstakes.
I'm hoping to throw out the first pitch at a Milwaukee baseball game.
Or attend batting practice.
Or hold the finish line ribbon for the racing sausages.
You don't say.
The ultimate baseball fan sweepstakes at Century Foods. Enter on Century's Facebook or Instagram by July 30th.
Your state, your teams, your ESPN. The ESPN Wisconsin app. Customizable just for you. Find the ESPN Wisconsin app in the Apple or Android app stores today.
Welcome back to Brewers Extra Innings.
Brewers win. Trying to win the next two and continue their dominance over the White Sox over the last few years. They've only lost once to the White Sox over the last 3 seasons. Keeping the good times rolling. They swept them last year at American Family Field. Swept them at Guaranteed Rate Field at the time, a couple of seasons ago. Now they get another win tonight. Old AL rivalry days. Our play of the game has to be the first big league home run of Isaac Collins today. Congratulations to him. And Brewers reporting, he got the ball back. So don't know if there was a negotiation or anything needed, but congratulations to Isaac on his first big league homer. The Surfside play of the game. A proud partner of the Milwaukee Brewers. Surfside iced tea and vodka and Surfside lemonade and vodka. Paired perfectly with the day of the ballpark. Stocked at American Family Field all season long. Enough for me. Let's hear from the manager, Pat Murphy, after a win today.
You know, we got some infield hits, took advantage of free bases, ran a little bit, but you know, we executed when we had to. But cold night like tonight, it's hard to hit the ball in the gap. It's hard to, you know, score runs that way. After the first couple innings, it got really cold and it was tough to score. But we left a ton on base. But yeah, we did what we had to do, taking the free bases. That's part of offense, you know. Take those free bases and not try to overdo it. Laid down a couple really nice bunts, which made a difference. Sal got that inning going, I believe, with a bunt for a hit. And, yeah, those types of things helped us. And Freddie. I mean, Freddie and William did a great job after that first inning, you know, to give us 6 innings. And they were on his heater early. And he made a nice adjustment and showed that, you know, he can navigate through someone's just jumping his heater.
You always talk about creating pressure innings. I mean, how much was that the story too?
Yeah, it was. I mean, they did a great job of creating pressure on them, the fear of the bunt, the fear of the steal. Just keep going. What are they going to do next? And it sometimes get you better pitches to hit. And yeah, William got a big hit and hit between second and third. Who was that? Durbin and William. Those 2 hits, you know, broke things open.
You mentioned that they were on the heater, so those the 2 home runs, were they mislocations at all, or was it?
No. They were looking for it and got it. You know, great swing by Benintendi on a ball up, and Robert smoked the ball down and away. Kind of. He's so capable. Yeah, I'll tell you, the White Sox, you know, Billy, we call him Billy. It's Bryce Wilson. He pitched unbelievable. You know, he was great. All their lefties were effective, and Bryce was. It's why he's had a major league job for so long, because he's good, and he knew our hitters, and he pitched to it. I thought he was excellent.
Even you update on Sal?
Yeah, he didn't want to come out of the game, of course, but you know, he was pretty numb still after it happened. He really didn't get feeling back, so we just want to make sure.
Is there anything, imaging x-rays?
No.
You expect him to be in the lineup tomorrow?
I do. Knowing Sal, if it's not a compound fracture, if just a fracture, he'll be in there. And compound fracture probably keep him out.
You mentioned Contreras at bat in the 6. You know, I think he got down maybe 1-2, fall back, and then goes the other way. How impressive of a bat was that?
Yeah, he's not 100% comfortable at the plate right now, and he's going to get there. But see, the thing he doesn't sometimes understand, and he's not swinging it great, but 1 for 3 with twice on base. I think, you know, you do that for 20 years, you're in the Hall of Fame. You know what I mean? and you catch like he does, he's got a chance to be really special. So, yeah, we're not on it by any stretch of the imagination, but but lots of good, lots of good in there. That Durbin kid just continues to give us a big lift, and he's going to lead the league in hit by pitches, I'm sure. Is that right? Is that like his fourth already?
Fourth already.
And how many games?
10, 11.
So that's about 50 on the air. That would lead the league, wouldn't it? 50?
I didn't notice him standing too close. Is he just bang into the ball?
No, he just jumps in front of it.
Does he?
It's a called play. We just say, hey, jump in front of it.
Missy, got to get guys on base, man.
What about Isaac Collins? What have you seen from him through the first month? I'm sure that was a nice moment for you guys in here.
Yeah, I mean, Isaac is just put his head down and played since spring training. He came to spring training, had an injury, lower back, and he didn't get off to a good start. And then after that, yeah, he's been really good, really solid in the outfield. He's working his tail off, waiting for his chance, and now he's getting his chance, and he's doing quite well.
Good for Isaac, man. Yeah, getting some kudos from his manager, getting his first big league home run. Awesome. Minneapolis kid. You should go look up his Huddle highlights. He was a heck of a football player back in the Twin Cities, and he said this recently in a story to Adam McCalvey, talking about all the Midwest ties the Brewers have on this team, and that he was both a finalist for Minnesota's Mr. Football and Mr. Baseball. He was the first to do so since this guy named Joe Mauer to do it in the state of Minnesota. Isaac is quick to correct folks. Well, Mauer won both. I won neither. So he has a little bit of a sense of humor when it comes to that. But hey, he's in the book forever. Big leaguer with a home run to his name. So congratulations to Isaac. We will get ready to wrap up the program here in just a moment. Give you the programming schedule and get ready to say goodbye as the Brewers get the win today. As this will be our last broadcast on ESPN Milwaukee for a little while, probably until football season. Back with more after this on ESPN Milwaukee.
This is Brewers Extra Innings.
This is Kevin Moret from Mentality. Every day is a silent competition, and with testosterone dropping 1% annually, you're fighting an uphill battle. Your colleagues notice when you lose your edge, your partner senses when your confidence wavers, and without addressing low T, you're set up to fail. No willpower can overcome this hormonal deficit. Mentality's FDA-approved treatments have shown a 30% increase in testosterone levels. Don't let low T define you. Reclaim your power at mentalityhealth.com/radio. That's mentalityhealth.com/radio.
As clutch of a player to ever play basketball.
It's game time on Season 4 of Behind the Bucks on Bucks Plus.
This year I was like, I need to impose myself more on this team.
Explore Damian Lillard's journey to becoming a top 75 player in NBA history.
That's what really had me feeling like this is going to be great.
Behind the Bucks is presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker, and H&R Benefits Consultant. Find Bucks Plus on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, and wherever you get podcasts.
Hey, Gina, did you hear about the draft?
Wayne, there's no draft at Pella.
There's definitely a draft. Right, Wildy? Yeah, everybody's talking about it.
Pella windows are constructed of the highest quality. No drafts.
Yeah, sure. Okay. No drafts. Got it. There's more than one draft?
No, but Pella should be everyone's number one pick because right now at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, get no interest financing options or free glass upgrades when you order by April 30th. Our talented designers and installers can match your unique home through dramatic sizes, custom colors, finishes, profiles, product types, and more, along with durable and distinguished details. All Pella products stand the test of time, which is why we confidently offer the best wood warranty in the industry.
So where is the draft?
Coon. Get no interest financing options or free glass upgrades at PellaWI.com.
Certain restrictions apply. Ends 4/30/2025.
At the Knickerbocker Hotel, we believe your stay should be as convenient and luxurious as possible. Whether you're planning a small meeting or a special event, our versatile space is perfect for any occasion. Start your day with a delicious meal at the Nick Restaurant and Bar, or unwind at the Nick Salon and Spa. Wanting to stay active? Their 24-hour fitness center is always available. If you need something custom made or alterations made, there's a tailor on site. The Knickerbocker, where every detail is designed with your comfort in mind. For more information and to book your next stay, visit knickerbockeronthelake.com.
Welcome back to Brewers Extra Innings.
Last couple minutes of the show. Our thanks to producer Chris Larson here on ESPN Milwaukee, given, well, it's probably our last one for a while, given the Bucks season is over. Yeah, I just saw Giannis' stat line tonight. Holy cow. I was locked in on baseball over here. 35, 20, and 13. Yeesh. Hang with him. Anyway, tomorrow, same time, same place, like we just said. It'll be a 6:40 first pitch. We will have a post-game show back on WTMJ tomorrow. And in case this is your first time stumbling upon us, hey, what's up? Welcome. I'm Dom. We are on Brewers All Access is the name of the podcast. If you want to catch all of these shows after the fact, commercial free as well if you want to fast through some of that. But these are all podcasted, easy to find wherever you get your pods, and on YouTube too, so super easy there. No post-game show on Thursday, but we will have Brewers Weekly that night. Got a guest lineup looking down on the farm. Pretty relevant guest the way things are looking right now. Just want to make sure we get that recorded before I actually reveal who that's going to be. So it should be a good conversation for Thursday. That is at 8 o'clock Thursday nights, as long as we're dodging the raindrops. That will also serve as our de facto post-game show, given we don't have a live Brewers Extra Innings after the game on Thursday, with it being a day game. And then we're ready to go for pre- and post-game shows Friday, Saturday, and Sunday all weekend long. Then the Astros come to town, and it's been a couple years since they've been here. Thinking of old friend Mauricio Dubon. We'll also see Josh Hader. Remember, when Hader was a Padre, he did not pitch in a single game until a year later. Remember, they came and then pitched very inauspiciously at the very end, and then so we'll see Hader again next week too. And their new left fielder Jose Altuve, their first baseman Christian Walker. They're suddenly a new-looking team here in 2025 than what we've been used to for the Astros over the years. Also, we will see an off day next Thursday. Then the Brewers will go back on the road next weekend. That is when they will take on the Tampa Bay Rays down at Steinbrenner Field, home of the Yankees spring training. Then they go to Cleveland, who they're knotted up with the Twins last I saw. They looked like they were in an entertaining game, and Cleveland did come back to win that game, or eventually win that game. Walk-off in the bottom of the ninth, 2-1 the final score. It's Kyle Manzardo, walk-off homer for him. So that's in a couple of weeks away when the Brewers see them. They're in a little bit of a stretch here, facing some contenders after these White Sox, all in a row. Cubs, Astros, Rays, and them. So that'll do it for us. I'm Dom Catronio. Brewers win 7-2. Keep on swinging.
Saving money on your outdoor project now at Menards. We have everything you need to keep your outdoor power equipment running smooth, so you can keep that lawn in tip-top